Wade, I mean, we've seen some strength of late, albeit it's selective strength. What's your thinking here then?
Yeah, so look, we still believe that the dollar will be weaker as we go into the end of the year. I think the key thing for us is that now, well, at least almost, we think we're past some of the greater volatility with respect to the debt ceiling debate. Obviously, in the next couple of days, it's going to get pretty tight, but we do think a deal is done. And in that context, we think that some of the trends that we saw playing out through the second quarter of the year can start to work their way through again. I guess the key point for us is that we think that US growth will continue to slow. In that context, credit tightening will continue through the second half of the year. That is going to slow down consumption in the US, and it may indeed lead to the Fed starting to do a more obvious pivot, potentially even starting to cut rates by the end of the fourth quarter, and that will continue to put downward pressure on the dollar in that case. But pretty much across the board, albeit there are some laggards we think that can play catch up here, and the Aussie dollar is one of those, where we think that the RBA will be on hold for the remainder of this year and into the start of 2024.
I'll come to the Aussie dollar in a second, but, of course, with the debt ceiling deal, if it is done, and it seemingly is, the next all of worry is going to be what the Fed does. And you alluded to some of that, a more obvious pivot. But, I mean, should they continue doing what they're doing in terms of perhaps a pause in June, arguably, and perhaps another hike in July, when you've got credit tightness doing the job for them?
Yeah, I think, look, when it comes to the Fed, the market's actually done a lot of repricing over the last 3 to 4 weeks. We almost have a full rate hike now priced for the Fed at the next meeting. I guess from our point of view, they are very close to done, if not done already. Now, some of the data has been a little bit on the stronger side. That being the case, some of that data has been largely linked to consumption, and there we think that this credit tightening is going to weigh, particularly as we go through the third quarter. Hence the reason, yes, look, there could be there's definitely the risk of one more hike left in the Fed, but we think at that point the data has in part started to weaken. The consumer data will weaken further, and as a consequence the Fed will be more shifting into cutting mode as we go into 2024 rather than continuing to hike rates.